Harambee! Neno hili si hivyo, mambo ni matatu.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back to our channel once again. And it is my hope and prayer that the video is going to find you guys in good health. Personally, I am fine, as you can see. Kisumu is fantastic. And maybe you could also let me know where you're watching the video from. The county or the country, in case you are out of the republic. And for this particular video, ladies and gentlemen, kindly let me know the specific market center you are raised in, because you could meet a person you grew up with on this particular platform. Ladies and gentlemen, the leadership of the united opposition, led by Rigathi Gachagua, Kalonzo Musyoka, Fred Matiangi, Eugene Wamalwa, and Justin Muturi, including Martha Karua, met today once again. And the details of that meeting has actually leaked. And my sources are telling me that William Ruto and Raila Odinga are actually worried about these meetings which the united opposition are holding. In this video, I want us to look at the details which have leaked out of that particular meeting. Before we do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. And allow me to take the opportunity to thank the following people. You are seeing their names there for the coffee they sent to me earlier today. It goes a long way in supporting this channel. You can also do the same using the same numbers. Ladies and gentlemen, something is now very, very clear. That the united opposition are now finding their purpose. And they are now focused on removing William Ruto from office. And just like we've always explained here, that removing William Ruto from office in 2027 is actually the easiest thing anybody can do. But there's a problem. William Ruto cannot just be removed from office without taking drastic and painful decision. And the painful decision is that these guys will have to pick one individual. And that's where the problem lies. So according to sources today, the first objective of the meeting was about fielding a joint presidential candidate in 2027. Ladies and gentlemen, do you think this team can agree and field a single presidential candidate in 2027? The truth is, if they were to agree and support a single presidential candidate, they will easily remove Ruto. But who can agree to step down? That's why Mukhisa was appointed to head the secretariat. And that secretariat is working currently very closely with a team of experts. And the mandate of the expert is to identify the most credible candidate who can easily defeat William Ruto out of office. But there were signs after the appointment of Mukhisa that the team were not pulling towards the same direction. And that's why they convened this meeting. Which takes me to the second objective of this particular meeting. The aftermath of the appointment of Mukhisa to head that secretariat. Remember, we have different parties in here. We have DAP Kenya. Who is the leader of DAP Kenya? I don't know whether it's Wamalwa or whether it's the governor for Trans Nzoia, George Natembeya. Again, within the united opposition, you remember, Cleophas Malala voiced his concerns. Which means it might not only be DCP or Eugene Wamalwa who raised their concerns, probably the others also raised their concerns. But they were a bit guarded. They did it from the back end. Unlike Malala. So that appointment is a thorn. So probably they're trying to bond to see whether it will work out. Number three, and this is something which is going to either break or make these guys, the upcoming by-elections in Kenya. I'll do a separate video about the Mbere North. But if these guys will lose Mbere North, I can assure you, UDA will go there full throttle. If they lose Malava, I can assure you, UDA will go there full throttle. Of course, there is also the by-election in Baringo, which is also being watched very, very closely. So those by-election is worrying this team. Because take, for example, Mbere North. The candidate who was running on DCP party formally withdrew from DCP, which means DCP might not have a candidate there. But is that to the advantage of the coalition or to the disadvantage of Rigathi Gachagua? Of course, it is to the advantage of the coalition, because the coalition can then now agree to support a single candidate. Let's say the DP candidate of Muturi. But I'll do a comprehensive analysis about Mbere North. That one I'm promising, maybe tomorrow morning. Before I go to Bomet. Tomorrow I'll be in Bomet, by the way. Take Malava. Malava ideally should have been easily won by DCP party. In DCP party, the face we are seeing there is Wamalwa. But the person who is popular on the ground is Natembeya. So is Natembeya supporting the DAP Kenya candidate there? That's the question. And should they lose to UDA party? Should they lose to UDA party? Will they have a voice in Western Kenya? So I think this meeting was a strategy on how to front respective candidates. So if Wiper is popular, they sponsor Wiper. If DCP, they'll sponsor DCP. If DAP Kenya, they sponsor DAP Kenya. That was the whole essence of the meeting today. And number four, they're also planning series of political activities now across the country. And their strategy is two. The first thing they want to do is to try and consolidate various regions. For example, Rigathi locking Mount Kenya, Kalonzo, Ukambani, Wamalwa is expected to lock Bukusu, then Matiangi is supposed to lock Kisii. Then after locking Kisii, now they're starting the next phase where they are planning to start embarking on a series of national tours. I think they'll be in Kisii, is it this week or next week? For the same purpose. Because the momentum, the one-term momentum had started going down. That's the fact. Let me ask you, between now and previously, do you know what they see or hear about one term, the way they used to come out? Like that Rama Fest, I didn't hear it. We've had several other activities. So they want to try and recreate that one-term momentum, because one-term momentum was the only momentum these guys needed to send Ruto home. But William Ruto, being strategic, tried to kill it a bit. So they want to recreate the one-term movement. And lastly, there is a silent war, if you ask me, in this outfit. It's vicious. And if not well managed, that war is definitely going to destroy the united opposition. And it's something they were trying to resolve. Politically speaking, let us take the case of Western Kenya. Western Kenya, we have Ford Kenya. We have NCA is dead. Now we have UDA. Then you have ODM party. ODM is losing grip there very fast. Then on the other side, we have DAP Kenya. But in Western Kenya, DAP Kenya is not speaking in one language. So which means as much as they have advantage there, they're not speaking in one language. So there's a serious war between Eugene Wamalwa and Natembeya in Western Kenya. Now let us go to Mount Kenya. In Mount Kenya, there's a war there pitting Jubilee and DCP party. On the ground, DCP party is very popular. But Uhuru Kenyatta is also revamping his party, Jubilee Party. And Gachagua is telling him, we are not going to allow that to happen. Remember, these are people who are supposed to speak in one language. And Jubilee is settling on Fred Matiangi as the presidential candidate. You get? So what will it mean? It will mean DCP and Jubilee will fight tooth and nail in Mount Kenya for them to hold the grip in the region. In Ukambani, Kalonzo is safe. It's very safe. But Wavinya Ndeti is sending mixed signals. So there is kind of mistrust. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what you think, but for me, the meeting today is something which should worry Raila and should worry Ruto. Until next time, this is Lee Makwiny. Bye-bye.